Have you ever wondered if a story told for thousands of years could turn out to be real? Imagine standing on a quiet hill under a bright sky. All around you there are open fields and gentle slopes. As you look down at the earth, you cannot see what lies beneath your feet. Yet long ago, this very place was a great city called Troy. For centuries, poets spoke of Troy in their songs. They told of high walls that no enemy could break, of sparkling palaces filled with gold, and of brave heroes who fought under the watchful eyes of the gods. People listened with wonder, but they also asked, did Troy ever really exist? Or is it only a beautiful legend? In the 1800s, a man named Heinrich Schliemann decided to find out. Schliemann was not like most scholars of his time. He dreamed of proving that Homer's stories were true. He believed that Troy was more than just words on a page. Night after night he read the Iliad, closing his eyes to imagine the marble gates and the busy marketplaces. In his heart he felt a deep hope that one day he would stand where the heroes once stood. With that hope, Schliemann traveled to a hill called Hisarlik, in what is now modern-day Turkey. He hired a team of workers and began to dig. At first, all they uncovered was loose soil and scattered stones. The sun beat down on their backs, and some workers grew tired. They wondered if they should stop. But Schliemann encouraged them with a calm voice. "Keep going," he said, "for every layer of earth may hold a secret from the past." Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Still, the dig brought only small finds, broken bits of pottery, chipped fragments of tile, and shapes that hinted at human craft. Schliemann did not lose faith. He believed that patience and steady work would be rewarded. In his mind, he could almost hear the distant echoes of footsteps on ancient streets. Then, one clear morning, a shovel struck something very different. It was not like the loose earth around it. It felt solid and shaped. Schliemann knelt down and brushed away the dirt with his hand. Before him rose a line of massive stones, stones that had once formed a wall. His heart pounded. He had found the first proof that Troy lay buried beneath the hill. Excitement spread through the camp like wildfire. Schliemann and his workers cleared more dirt away, revealing longer stretches of the wall. Each day brought new discoveries, doorways that led into hidden rooms, broken cups and bowls, and long beams of wood turned to charcoal. Then came the greatest find, a hidden room filled with treasures. Gold jewelry, silver goblets, and small carved gems glinted in the sunlight. Schliemann called this wealth Priam's treasure, after the legendary king of Troy. Imagine holding a delicate gold necklace that had not seen daylight for more than 3,000 years. Who wore that necklace? What was her life like? Each object told a story, but it was up to Schliemann and his team to decide how to read the clues. Though his work revealed amazing secrets, his hurry also damaged some of the older layers beneath. Modern archaeologists say that careful study must slow down to truly understand history. Even so, Schliemann's discovery changed the world's view of Troy. A place once believed to be only myth became a real city with real people who lived, traded, and dreamed long ago. Visitors today walk among the ruins. They see the thick stone walls standing against the sky. They imagine the sounds of horses' hooves on cobblestone streets and the voice of a market vendor calling out prices for olive oil or fine cloth. For learners of English, Troy's story offers clear examples of words like legend, archaeologist, discover, and treasure. It shows how simple actions, digging, brushing, imagining, can uncover great wonders. It teaches us to keep searching, even when the path seems slow or difficult. Close your eyes now and picture yourself at the dig. Feel the cool morning breeze and hear the gentle scrape of shovels. What colors do you see in the soil? What sounds do you hear as the stones appear? In one short sentence, try to describe that moment. Through his belief and hard work, Heinrich Schliemann brought Troy out of darkness and into our world. His journey reminds us that sometimes the greatest truths hide beneath layers of doubt and time. If we approach our own goals with patience and passion, we too may uncover wonders that have waited for someone brave enough to look. Have you ever thought that a single choice might change the world? Long ago, the city of Troy stood by the sea, its walls rising high under the sun. Ships from distant lands arrived each day, carrying silk, spices, and shining metals. The market bustled with traders calling out prices. Children laughed as they chased each other between stalls. Troy was rich, proud, and alive. In Sparta, far to the west, lived Helen. She was the most beautiful woman anyone had ever seen. Her hair glowed like morning light, and her eyes were the color of a calm sea. Helen was married to King Menelaus, a strong and just ruler. He trusted his guest, Paris, a young prince of Troy. When Paris arrived in Sparta, Menelaus welcomed him with open arms, as was the custom of the time. Paris admired Helen at first sight. He felt his heart beat faster. Helen welcomed Paris's stories of Troy's golden palaces and busy harbors. She listened with curiosity, smiling at his excitement. But Paris had been chosen by the goddess Aphrodite in a contest of beauty among the gods. Aphrodite had promised him the love of the world's most beautiful woman. Now Paris believed he had found that promise in Helen. King Menelaus had to leave Sparta for an important meeting with other Greek kings. He trusted Paris to remain as his honored guest. But while Menelaus was away, Paris spoke to Helen about Troy. He told her of its high walls and brave warriors. He spoke with gentle words, as if he offered her a new life. Helen felt a spark of adventure and a pull of the heart she could not ignore. Late one night, Helen and Paris quietly left the palace. They boarded a ship bound for Troy. Waves rocked the vessel as it cut through the blue water under a starry sky. Helen looked back at Sparta's lights on the shore. Her heart was heavy with fear and guilt. She knew she was leaving everything she had ever known, yet she felt a new hope stirring within her. When Paris and Helen arrived in Troy, the city celebrated. Priam, the king of Troy and Paris's father, welcomed Helen as a queen. Street musicians played soft melodies. Flowers covered the gates. People whispered her name in wonder, calling her Helen of Troy. But not everyone was happy. Hector, Paris's older brother and Troy's greatest warrior, watched with concern. He saw the joy around him, but he also felt the tension growing like storm clouds on the horizon. News of Helen's departure reached Sparta like a thunderclap. Menelaus returned to find his queen gone, his heart filled with anger and shame. He sent urgent messages to the other Greek kings, calling them to fight for his honor. Among those who answered were Achilles, the strongest warrior of all, Odysseus, known for his clever mind, and Ajax, who carried a shield as large as a wall. 1,000 ships gathered along the Greek shores, their sails white against the morning sky. Warriors boarded each vessel, gripping spears and shields. Under the command of Agamemnon, brother of Menelaus, they set sail toward Troy. Their mission was clear: bring Helen home and punish Troy for the insult. On the battlefield before Troy's walls, Hector stood at the front. His armor gleamed in the sunlight. He raised his sword and called to his soldiers, reminding them what they fought for: home, family, and honor. The Greek army advanced like a wave, shields locked together. Achilles charged ahead, scattering foes with swift strikes. The clash of metal rang like thunder across the plain. Amid the battle, simple acts of courage shone through. A Greek soldier helped a wounded comrade to safety. A Trojan mother prayed at Apollo's temple, her words soft but full of faith. Each moment revealed human hearts caught between love and duty, pride and fear. Neither side could win an easy victory. Troy's walls held firm, and the Greeks refused to retreat. Days turned into weeks of fierce fighting. Each sunrise brought renewed resolve. Each sunset left the air heavy with the sound of lutes from Troy's palaces and the distant cries of returning warriors. Through love and pride, Troy and Greece became locked in a struggle that shaped legends. The heroism of Hector and the might of Achilles filled stories told for generations. Yet the true beginning lay in a choice made under Sparta's moonlight. A choice that proved how powerful the human heart can be. After many years of fierce fighting, the Greeks and Trojans reached a moment of great change. Odysseus, known for his clever mind, suggested a new plan. The Greeks built a large wooden horse and hid their best soldiers inside. They left the horse at the gates of Troy and pretended to sail away. The people of Troy, tired from the long siege, thought the war was over. They pulled the horse into the city as a trophy of victory. At night, the hidden soldiers climbed out and opened the gates for the Greek army waiting nearby. The walls that once protected Troy could not stop this final surprise. The city fell quickly, and flames lit the sky. King Priam lost his life, and the brave Hector's daughter watched in sorrow. Some Trojans, led by Aeneas, managed to flee into the dark, carrying hope for a new future. Even in defeat, Troy's story did not end. Centuries later, Heinrich Schliemann uncovered the buried walls and treasures. Visitors today walk among the quiet ruins and imagine the sounds of markets and songs of poets. They touch broken stones and feel a link to people long gone. Helen returned to Sparta, but her name became a symbol of both love and its cost. Aeneas's journey led to new lands and new cities, reminding us that endings can become new beginnings. Through dust and stone, Troy continues to speak to us. From this ancient tale, we learn many lessons. First, perseverance matters. The Greeks did not give up after 10 years of siege, and Trojans held their walls with courage. Second, cleverness can change outcomes. Odysseus's wooden horse proves that a sharp mind can outsmart even the strongest defenses. Third, humility is vital. Pride led both sides into a long war that cost many lives. Finally, hope endures. Troy fell, but its spirit lived on in new stories and new peoples. These lessons reach beyond history into our own lives. Stories like Troy shape how we see the world. As you learn English through this legend, notice words like siege, strategy, defeat, and legacy. Feel the emotions of heroes and families torn by war and driven by love. Let each sentence guide you to new vocabulary and clear grammar. When you practice speaking or writing, try to retell parts of the tale in your own words. This way, the story helps you grow both in language and in understanding human experience. Now it is your turn to create. Imagine a modern challenge in your city that seems impossible. A giant wall to climb, a problem to solve, or a dream to reach. Think of a clever plan or a small act of kindness that could open the gates to a solution. Write a short paragraph describing your own wooden horse idea. How would you use creativity and teamwork to overcome that challenge? By crafting your own legend, you not only practice English, but also discover new ways to face life's trials. After many years of stories and discoveries, the tale of Troy ends and yet begins again in our hearts. A city that once lay hidden under layers of earth rose to life through the courage of an archaeologist. Schliemann's steady hands and patient spirit proved that legends can become real. Then a simple act of love and a burst of pride sent ships into battle and heroes onto the field. Paris and Helen taught us how passion can unite and divide. Hector and Achilles showed us the heights and limits of bravery. Odysseus reminded us that clever ideas can change the course of events. Finally, a silent wooden horse outwitted mighty walls and brought an end to a long siege. Though Troy fell in flames and dust, its story did not die. Visitors today walk among broken stones and imagine the laughter of children in open courtyards. They see the old walls against the sky and feel a connection to people who lived more than 3,000 years ago. Troy lives on in our stories, our art, and our very language. Its lessons reach us across time, asking each new generation to listen, to learn, and to dream. From Troy's rise and fall, we draw a deep lesson. True strength comes from combining heart, mind, and humility. We learn that persistence can uncover hidden wonders. We learn that pride, if left unchecked, can lead to great loss. We learn that clever thinking can overcome the strongest barriers. We learn that love can inspire the greatest actions and cause the deepest wounds. Finally, we learn that even in defeat, hope can guide survivors to new beginnings. You can apply these lessons to your own life today. When you face a problem, remember to stay patient and keep digging for solutions. When success comes, stay humble and respectful of others. Use your mind to find creative paths around obstacles. Listen to your heart, but balance it with wisdom. And when challenges leave you feeling lost, hold on to hope that new opportunities will arise. Congratulations for listening all the way through this story. By following each chapter, you have trained your ears to catch new words and your mind to piece together meanings. Now it's time for a quick quiz. What is the deepest lesson from the story of Troy? A. Pride always leads to success. B. True strength combines heart, mind, and humility. Please comment A or B below to share your answer and join the conversation. If you enjoyed this story and want more helpful content, please subscribe to our channel. Your support gives us the motivation and resources to keep creating quality lessons for you. Early days are always hard, and running this channel is free for learners. If you can, please consider donating to help us cover our costs. Thank you for helping us bring English stories to life.